Hey everybody, Beyond Drew TV here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another tips, tricks tutorial video for Planet Zoo. In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build a stream, creek, river, whatever, without using any water. As you can see in front of you here, this stream that I quickly made in less than 5 minutes, there's no water in game with that. So what I mean is that these are all special effects pieces there. So none of this is the actual, if you go into terrain and use water, none of that is right here. This is all just special effects. So I figured that a lot of people don't seem to know about this when it's brought up, so I just kind of thought I'd do a quick tutorial for you to kind of walking you step by step how to kind of make something like this. So let's jump into it. Okay, so here's the area that we want to go ahead and put our creek in. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, or at least what I do, is when I have my little hill here or whatever you're going to, I kind of make a little indent where I want the creek to go. So I know that I want it to run from up top here down. So I make a little bit of an indent right here where I'm going to be putting my rocks in and stuff like that. So the first thing after you do with that is go into your construction tab. In the lower left, you'll have your special effects. And then if you scroll all the way down, the last few lines there are all of your water stuff for the most part. It turns into eventually like snow falling for these last three here. But for the most part, all of this has to do with waterfalls, water effects, you name it, if it has to do with water. So this is what we're going to be using for our creek here. So if you scroll down and look, you'll have a few of them called Rapid Splash. Now I do recommend the game be unpaused here, just to kind of make your life a little bit simpler there. So what we're looking for is Rapid Foam, though. It's right next to Rapid Splash, and these are very important, so it's nice that they're right next to each other because you're going to use those a lot. So as you can see, when you have that, you have this little beacon right there, and that is where your effect is coming out of. If you hold Z, I'm holding Z right now to rotate, and I'm moving my mouse to rotate. You can see the little arrow there. That is the direction that the water is going to be flowing. So now what's kind of neat about this, and as you can see, it's kind of flowing straight. If I were to bring it back here and hit X, so I hit X, that brings up your advanced move tool. So now you can go ahead and hit X again. So I'm hitting X multiple times and it brings up your secondary kind of advanced move tool. So your 3D access and then your move tool there. So when I hit X again, I can go ahead and move this again. So it's facing the right way. Make sure it's facing the right way. Yep, the blue is facing up there and we can see that's facing the right way. So kind of fine tune a little bit. Now the nice thing about this is that we can go ahead and tilt this so that it's not going straight like this. So we can tilt this like so. So now you see that our flow of, our rapids flow has now gone down and we've got it pretty well flat against the ground there. So that is pretty much what we're looking for, right? So if you go ahead and click, put that down, and if you want to go ahead and double it, you can double it up, triple it up. Now I will go ahead and put a bit of a word of caution out there that these are particle effects and they do soak up your frames, or if the game is looking choppy or it's kind of lagging, these don't help. They don't help that at all, but they look great, right? So it's kind of a trade-off. And the way that we do this whole thing, it's all based on particle effects. So if you are having a zoo or a project that's kind of lagging already and you're not getting the best experience performance-wise, this might not be the best route for you to go. But hey, if you don't care about that and you just want it to look good, let's do it, right? So, but now the next thing we need to do is go ahead and we're going to add in some just foam and just, splashing and stuff like that. It kind of just give this the illusion that, this is a fast moving kind of waterway there. So same thing with this one. I just went ahead and selected the water rapid splash. And you can see that what that looks like, and hitting X again, and then we can tilt this in the same manner just about as the other ones there. So now you can see we have kind of a lining there of where our our canal is going to be there a little bit, I guess you'd say. Now you don't have to just use the rapid splash. There are other ones that look similar, and that's kind of what this whole game is about, just kind of using the things that are at our disposal and seeing how they work for you. This just works for me, but if you would like to, you can also use the waterfall top. That also has a nice bubbly water effect there. So you see we're kind of combining all these together, and it's starting to look a little bit like something, right? A little bit, but it is missing some things to kind of push it over the edge there. So what I do to kind of give it a little bit better feel of actually a canal and stuff is we go into, our nature tab, go down to your rocks, and this kind of depends what feel you're going for, but I kind of want this to feel like a North American kind of feel. So we're going to go with the Tundra Rocks here. I love these Tundra Rocks. I'll do a line to surface just to make it a little bit easier, and hold Shift, come down here, and just kind of place the rocks in there. So you're just going to kind of fill in your again, your canal or your little waterway here with rocks kind of covering the bottom of your waterway. Now you don't need to do this all the way. I'm going to show you in just a second why not, but here we're just kind of placing a few rocks there. I'm pushing Z every time as well to spin the rock to give up just a little bit of a different texture. You can see we came full circle over here, so we have the same texture. But if I were to go here and hit Z a few times, you can see it looks a little bit different there. So there's that, and then I like this really long rock here to kind of cover your middle ground. And same thing, we can advance move these. So if you hit X, we can kind of get these a little bit more flush and a little bit more precise as to where we would like the rock to go. So again, X, your advanced move tool, is very, very important. The most important, basically. So, but yeah, as you can see, we kind of put these together there. And it's starting to look a little bit more like what we're wanting there, just a little bit. You know, it's a slow process that comes together, but as it does start to come together, you can definitely tell. So the next thing that kind of helps us out, and we won't have to place rocks for the whole time, is using your terrain brushes. Now the terrain brush, there we go. So you go to your terrain tool, you have your terrain painting brush here, and we have our rocks, right? So if we were to paint this up just a little bit with the rocks, now this is the tropical biome, so we have the tropical rock painting here. But if you have the tropical rocks selected, or whatever biome you're in, that biome's rocks, you'll see that it blends in really well with it. And you can use that to your advantage when making these to kind of, you know, just kind of blend between the terrain and blend the actual rocks and the water and everything. So yeah, again, you kind of see how this is starting to kind of just come together there a little bit. So you just kind of keep adding on, right? Just kind of keep adding on to it. So here's another foam. We'll go ahead and look at it from the side, make sure so it's a little bit up. So we'll point it down. There you go, sink that down in, and we're looking good. So you just kind of repeat that over and over again, and you can kind of, you know, turn your waterway however you want it to go. And then the last little few touches that you do is just kind of adding in some of that nice foliage there, kind of tie it all together, putting in a little bit of foliage. And for me, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, yeah, it's a waterway, so there's going to be some probably dense kind of you know, bushes and stuff kind of growing up next to it because there's a waterway here, so there's, you know, a lot of access to water and all that fun stuff. Sure, we'll put some trees to kind of gussy up the area. But so yeah, but no, for the most part, you know, I'm not going to finish it out. You also with the you can see what it kind of leads up to there. But no, for the most part, that's how you get your streams and creeks there without using any of the terrain or, you know, the actual water here. So hopefully that helped you all out. And yeah, until the next little tips and tricks video there, y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.